Um, for those people on YouTube, um, please forget the fits and starts. What ended up happening is that we kind of got ourselves into a little hot spot here. I have this wonderful thing here that allows me to restream to a whole bunch of different places. It's called restream.io. It's a wonderful thing. And what ended up happening is that I entered my account like I normally do, and it wouldn't let me do all the things I've been doing. And so I had to upgrade, which is now like money. So I'm spending money now to be on the air on Restream, but I think everybody's there. So I'm not exactly sure whether it is or isn't. Let's see. Welcome to the Wells Report for June 8, 2022. Okay. And yeah, that was really great. So sorry about being late today. This, like I said, Restream threw me a major curveball. I've got to get in touch with them coming up in just a little bit. And we'll figure out all that stuff. But welcome to the broadcast. Good to have you here. Lots of big things happening today. As a matter of fact, very disturbing things. Chuck Schumer got his wish today that there would be, if indeed the Supreme Court of the United States saw fit to overturn Roe v. Wade. Chuck Schumer stood in front of the Supreme Court on microphone and said that you would reap the whirlwind. Today, the whirlwind came to visit Brett Kavanaugh. The story goes like this, as reported by FoxNews.com. The armed California man arrested near the Maryland home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh this morning has been identified as Nicholas John Roski, according to law enforcement sources. Roski is from Simi Valley, California. He was carrying a gun, knife, and pepper spray when arrested, made violent threats against Kavanaugh, according to sources. He was picked up on a nearby street after calling police on 911 to report himself. A criminal complaint obtained by Fox News shows that Roski is being charged with attempting to murder a United States Supreme Court justice. He is scheduled to have a first appearance in federal court in Maryland later this afternoon. He told officers that he wanted to give his life purpose, and purchased a gun and other items for that purpose of breaking into Kavanaugh's home, killing the justice, and then himself. Roski admitted in a second interview with the FBI his intent to kill Kavanaugh and himself, according to an affidavit in support of the criminal complaint. Roski told detectives he was upset about the leak of a recent Supreme Court draft decision regarding the right to an abortion, as well as the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, and believed Kavanaugh would side with the Second Amendment decisions that would loosen gun control laws. At approximately 1:05 this morning, 2 U.S. Marshals saw an individual later identified as Roski dressed in black clothing and carrying a backpack and a suitcase get out of a taxi cab that had stopped in front of Kavanaugh's Montgomery County home. How do we know that Brett Kavanaugh lives in Montgomery County? Do you remember the pro-choice group Ruth Sent Us? Ruth Sent Us doxed the conservative members of the Supreme Court of the United States. What is doxing? So glad you asked. Doxing is when someone releases the personal address of high government officials, those that they don't agree with politically. Ruth Sent Us is an accessory to this crime. So is Chuck Schumer. So is Jen Psaki. As a matter of fact, in case you're still wondering about that propaganda extravaganza that's supposed to happen tomorrow night with the Select Committee on the January 16th incursion, the same words used by Jen Psaki, and not used, by the way, by Chuck Schumer, about peaceful protests, are going to come back and haunt that extravaganza tomorrow night. The only way that they are going to be able to evade any kind of comparison is by ignoring it. You're listening to the Wells Report. Sorry about the late start today. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Wow. Okay, so sorry about that. Yeah, what ended up happening was I I was sitting here peacefully minding my own business, doing whatever I do, and I jumped up on Restream and was not available. The things I was trying to get done was not available. They were not available unless I upgraded my account, and I don't know where that is. Let's see here. Um, Getting started. Can I watch the stream? Something isn't working. Billing. I guess that would be a billing issue. Okay. Um, by the way, what happened to 1160 a.m.? Asks Brian. Brian Smith. Thanks very much. Here's what happened. We never owned the company I worked for regarding 1160 a.m. Did not own. Did not. Let's see. Unknown charge. Other. Um, please describe your question. Let's see. The services I was using in my standard account were not available available today when I signed in, unless I upgraded my account. Which I did. Please contact me at regarding this issue. Thank you. Thanks. David Wells. The Wells Report. Okay. So anyway, let's see if I can get this moved. I can't. You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. We had a little bit of a technical glitch today. I'm trying to work with that on Restream at this particular moment, and I had to work on upgrading my account in order to get the services I had been using for the last week or so. And so I'm trying to resolve that with them, and hopefully that will happen. Sorry for the circumstance here. I don't really know what's going on, but we'll work it on. Poker Monkey says, JD, good to have you back. Thanks for your service to our country, and so on and so on. Okay. And thank it is my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Let's see, Jonathan. Something smells fishy. It's highly unusual for a potential murderer to call the police and report himself on the way to his victim's house. Yeah, there's some problems here, and we're going to be talking about these here in just a couple of moments. I got flagged on Facebook for saying Nancy needed support, needed to protect the Supreme Court, justices in Washington, D.C. Yeah, something is going on, and it's not good. This is bad. In case you just joined us, at 1 p.m. this morning, I'm sorry, at 1:05 a.m. this morning, two U.S. Marshals saw an individual later identified as Nicholas John Roski on a road. He was dressed in black clothing. He was carrying a backpack and a suitcase. Got out of a taxi cab that stopped in front of Kavanaugh's Montgomery County home. The individual looked at the two marshals standing outside their parked vehicles, turned and walked down the street. Shortly afterwards, Montgomery County Emergency Communication Chief, or the Communication Center, fielded a call from Roski, who identified himself and told the call taker that he was having suicidal thoughts and had a firearm in his suitcase. Roski told the call taker he came from California to kill a specific United States Supreme Court justice. Montgomery County Police Department officers were dispatched where they encountered Roski still on the phone with the emergency operator. He was taken into custody without incident. The backpack and suitcases in his possession were indeed found and searched. The inventory of the seized suitcase and backpack revealed a black tactical chest rig, a tactical knife, a Glock 17 pistol with 2 magazines and ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, screwdriver, nail punch, crowbar, pistol light, duct tape, hiking boots with padding on the outside of the soles, and other items. After being transported to the Montgomery County Police Department's 2nd District Precinct, a detective advised Roski of his constitutional rights. Roski indicated that he understood his rights, agreed to speak with the agents, and signed a written waiver to that effect. Roski then told the detective that he was upset about the leak of a recent Supreme Court draft decision regarding the right to abortion, as well as the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Roski indicated he believed that the justice he intended to kill would side with Second Amendment decisions that would loosen gun laws. Roski stated that he had begun thinking about how to give his life a purpose, and decided he would kill the Supreme Court justice after finding the justice's Montgomery County address on the internet. Roski further indicated that he had purchased the Glock and other items for the purpose of breaking into the justice's residence and killing the justice as well as himself. That's from the complaint currently being reported here on the Wells Report via Fox News. Okay, there are other circumstances here. Let me give you the USA Today version. An armed man who allegedly made threats against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was arrested early this morning near the justice's suburban Washington, D.C. home, according to a court spokesman and a local police official. The suspect, identified in court records as Nicholas John Roski of California, was arrested at 1:50 a.m. and transported to a local Montgomery County, Maryland police district after allegedly calling a local 911 dispatcher, claiming to be armed, suicidal, and had traveled to the area to kill a Supreme Court justice. Authorities later recovered a Glock pistol, tactical knife, pepper spray, zip ties, hammer, and a crowbar from the pack that he was carrying. Roski is expected to make an initial court appearance later Wednesday in a Maryland federal court, where he faces charges of attempting to kidnap, murder, or threaten a sitting federal judge. Okay, this is a mistake. This is something, and I'm not talking about this attacker. This is just a wanton criminal bent on trying to kill Brett Kavanaugh. At least that's the way it looks right this very moment. I can't say allegedly because everything that I read was from an affidavit that he signed. Here's the CNN version. The Justice Department has charged the man who was arrested near Justice Brett Kavanaugh's house in Maryland early this morning with attempting or threatening to kidnap and murder a U.S. judge. The man, Nicholas John Roski, had called emergency authorities saying he was having suicidal thoughts and had a firearm in his suitcase, leading to his arrest. He told law enforcement he had traveled from California to kill, quote, a specific United States Supreme Court justice, unquote. The affidavit said Roski was upset about the leak of the Supreme Court opinion related to abortion rights and an upcoming gun control case in the school shooting last month in Uvalde. Quote, Roski indicated he believed the justice that he intended to kill would side with the Second Amendment decisions that would loosen gun control laws. Roski stated that he began thinking about how to give his life a purpose and decided he would kill the Supreme Court justice after breaking into his home. Roski planned to kill himself as well, according to the affidavit. This morning, Roski was carrying a suitcase and a backpack filled with a tactical knife, Glock 17, 2 mags, ammunition, pepper spray, and zip ties. Roski also had on hand a hammer, a screwdriver, nail punch, crowbar, pistol light, duct tape, according to the affidavit. The White House says President Joe Biden has condemned the action of the armed individual arrested outside Kavanaugh's home. White House spokesman Andrew Bates told CNN, quote, President Biden condemns the actions of this individual in the strongest terms and is grateful to law enforcement for quickly taking him into custody. He also goes on to say, as the president had consistently made clear, public officials, including judges, must be able to do their jobs without concern for their personal safety or that of their families. Any violence, threats of violence, or attempts to intimidate justices have no place in our society. He said that himself, his spokesperson, and had been forceful about this from the podium. Well, strangely enough, so did another president, forcefully discussing about peaceful protests. But there's going to be some sort of a razzmatazz propaganda piece tomorrow night that's going to be broadcast across the nation. Why is that? Why is that? Well, because there's a two-tiered legal system in the United States, and it's awful. It's awful. We've got more to say. A little bit of a technical glitch getting the Wells Report on today, but we are here and you are there, and let's get together on the chat. We'll be back with more in a moment. Okay, let's see here. Danielle. I think I got it. Okay. I went to sign on to my Restream account only to find I was disallowed from using the destination features. I have been using 4 days. I'm sorry, I'm writing a note to these people. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to where we are. Okay. Something smells. Okay, I got flagged on Facebook. Yes, I bet the guy at Justice Kavanaugh's house was not an NRA member. No. Let's see what else. What else do we have here? Please explain what further gun law legislation would have prevented that guy from doing what he did. Exactly. Lord have mercy. JDW. Wow. Yeah. Howdy. Howdy, J. Randall DuPape. We need Americans to go and see. We need Americans love to go see if the need. Security, then they need. Okay. So he gives his life for the purpose of making a mighty strong case for loosening Second Amendment restrictions so people can defend himself. Ironic. Yeah, it is. These people are. It's just a horrific twist, and it's awful. It's just awful. Gail Marlowe says hello from Ohio. Yeah, the red wave has begun, Jeff. I certainly say it. Joe cares. Joe says he cares. He does not care. Well, there's a lot of news on that. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of news on that, and so on. Let's see. We're rapidly okay. With 3 streams. You're listening to the Wells Report and watching it too. Apparently, we're on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you are watching this broadcast and you're wondering what's going on, well, it got kind of a rough start this morning, or this afternoon. But we normally are pretty slick. We bring you the news. We bring you analysis of that news. In other words, we sort through the news for the facts. We report those facts to you. Then I make commentary, and then we debate the commentary. Because I'm not the Oracle of Delphi. I bring you news and information that you can use to make better decisions with. And I tell you what I think about that, and then I pass that stuff along to you, and then we discuss what you think about that. This is a completely interactive show. It's going to be more interactive before you know it, because we are going to be in a situation where we have telephone lines where you'll be able to find us and call us. That's what we're going to be doing. All right. At this particular moment, we're just sort of having we're sort of getting our way and finding our way throughout all of this, and we'll be rolling smoothly, I'm sure, before you know it. So, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. I can't get rid of this thing now. I got this thing in here, and I can't get rid of it. Yeah. So I wonder how that's supposed to work. Okay, I did that. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well. All right, so let me get back to what's going on, because the real news is not about this Restream mess. The real news is about the fact that a hood showed up in front of Brett Kavanaugh's house today. And what he did was inform people on the phone that indeed he was planning on killing Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and then himself. How did he find Brett Kavanaugh's address? Here's how he found Brett Kavanaugh's address. He found Brett Kavanaugh's address because a group of people called Ruth Sent Us, that was an allusion, A-L-L-U-S-I-N, to Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Ruth Sent out and with maps, by the way, the address of conservative Supreme Court justices. At the time, this was not condemned harshly by the President of the United States. In fact, Jan Psaki said that she welcomed peaceful protests. She welcomed peaceful protests, and that the United States has a rich tradition of peaceful protests and so on and so forth. This man was a protester. He was not planning on a peaceful protest. He was planning on killing Brett Kavanaugh. Chuck Schumer, currently the majority leader in the United States Senate, stood on the steps of the Supreme Court and said that if the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, they would reap the whirlwind. Well, the wind came blowing this morning for Brett Kavanaugh. The guy went ahead and called himself into police and was arrested and is being charged with attempted murder and attempted kidnapping of a Supreme Court justice. Now, what's interesting about this? Donald Trump was impeached in the later parts of his presidency because he had made a similar statement in front of people outside of the Capitol building on January 6th, where he said, let's go to the Capitol and peacefully protest. This invalidates the Select Committee on January 6th. That blows up their propaganda piece scheduled for tomorrow evening. Blows it to pieces, to smithereens. It should have never been done in the first place. This is nothing more than a political hit job that the United States media is cooperating in. As a matter of fact, a former ABC News executive is actually producing this behemoth propaganda piece, reminiscent of the Nazi propaganda pieces for the early part of the Second World War, the later part of the 30s. It is at least chilling. It is definitely frightening. It is awful. And yet, nobody's actually dealing with this. There has been a bill. There's been a bill that has been passed by the Senate of the United States. And the Senate of the United States passed it, and it's been languishing in the House. Why has it been languishing in the House? Because the House of Representatives, run by Democrats, want to intimidate United States Supreme Court justices to not issue that decision. As we have this conversation right this minute, the United States, the National Guard of the District of Columbia, is planning for what? Another insurrection? This time of the Supreme Court? As the thugs come running when the left doesn't get what it wants, which is exactly what has been happening. Over the last few days, I have noted, with some trepidation, I might add, I have noted that it is not above what goes for ethics and standards of the American left to commit crimes up to and including murder, to be able to disrupt the United States of America for political effect. That's what Black Lives Matter was all about. That's what that was all about. That's what all those riots were for. And when the clear precedent was established that these protests, the BLM protests, of course, featured people being kicked to death in the streets, police officers being blinded, federal buildings being burned. When that was established firmly as a precedent, when Trump supporters went to the Capitol, yes, and went inside, which was foolish and stupid, we found ourselves in a position where suddenly those people that broke into the Capitol building were the most arch domestic terrorists in the history of the nation. As a matter of fact, the shrill voices in Washington, D.C. said, my goodness gracious, this is the biggest attack on American democracy since the Civil War. Forgetting somehow about World War II, the Vietnam War, 9/11, and anything else you can think of. You see, I, over the years, have been doing the Wells Report. As a matter of fact, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. Started on 9/11/2001. That was the first broadcast of this radio show. And I've been doing it every day ever since. And when we talked about that, when we started doing this, we said that the ideal of this broadcast was to bring you the news and the issues of the day and a perspective that was apolitical. And what I am here to tell you is that the American left is bent on destruction of this nation. This is not to be confused with the Democrat Party, although the Democrat Party currently is confused as to whether they're the ultra-progressive anti-American left or whether or not they're an American political party that sees things from a different perspective than many Americans. Right now, the leftist progressives who are being sundered in primary elections from one end of the country to the other are bringing destruction to the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party is sucking up as quickly as possible to the American left in order to further their political dreams, which is more delirium than dream. It's outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous. Now, I don't know. How's it going, Jeffrey Ballard? I don't know where this is going to go. But I suspect that this man is probably maybe not going to be treated as harshly as the January 6th protesters who were sent to the Capitol building to protest peacefully, just like all of the anti-Supreme Court protesters went to protest in front of the houses of these Supreme Court justices. Jen Psaki said, peaceful protest is okay. Well, this isn't peaceful protest. The BLM protests weren't peaceful, regardless of how many people with burning buildings in the background on live video coast to coast said so. Idiots. This is where this dangerous, overheated rhetoric, this shrill, hysteric attempt to try to destroy the political opponents of the American left, this is where all this comes home to roost. Hang on a second. Anyway, this is awful. By the way, in case you're wondering, when the doxing of this by Ruth sent us, the doxing of these addresses, okay? What happened is that that the president the president failed to condemn the doxing of the Supreme Court justices, who indicated in a leaked Supreme Court ruling that they're in favor of overturning Roe v. Wade. The publication of the streets where the justices live occurred as early as Thursday, and that would have been in May. That would have been the first week of May. And this guy showed up to kill Brett Kavanaugh. Steve Scalise, the representative from Louisiana and in Republican Party leadership, who was shot by a guy who showed up at a practice for the Republican team in the congressional baseball game, said at the time on Twitter, the White House refuses to condemn radical abortion groups posting maps with private home addresses of Supreme Court justices for protesters to find. They know this is dangerous. They don't care because it benefits their agenda. They are going to get someone hurt. Jen Psaki.
Just about moving forward, these activists posted a map with the home addresses of the Supreme Court justices. Is that the kind of thing this president wants to help your side make their point?
Look, I think the president's view is that there's a lot of passion, a lot of fear, a lot of sadness.
Hang on just a second. Let me play this back here. Let me play this back as we work this through. Let's see. I want to make sure that I got everything right, and I do. And here is Jen Psaki one more time. We're going to play this a little bit better audio quality. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, this is where the technical tricks become absolutely outrageous, and so on. Hang on just a moment. Let me see if I can figure out how this works. So this is not this is malfunctioning on a way that I am not familiar with here at this particular moment. And that's not usually what happens. Let me do this. Okay, here we go. Third time's the charm. This time, I'm sure it's going to work. Off we go.
Just about moving forward, these activists posted a map with the home addresses of the Supreme Court justices. Is that the kind of thing this president wants to help your side make their point?
Look, I think the president's view is that there's a lot of passion, a lot of fear, a lot of sadness from many, many people across this country about what they saw in that leaked document. We obviously want people's privacy to be respected. We want people to protest peacefully if they want to protest. That is certainly what the president's view would be.
So he doesn't care if they're protesting outside the Supreme Court or outside someone's private residence.
I don't have an official U.S. government position on where people protest.
Okay, so there you go. This is the sleazy language of politics trying to whistle Dixie in the maelstrom. They have literally called down the whirlwind, just like Chuck Schumer said. And here it is. They almost got a United States Supreme Court justice killed. Where is the accountability? Where will it be? The answer is simple. It will be with us. We, the people of the United States. We, the people of the United States, with our votes, not with our weaponry, not with our willingness to go burn stuff down and kick people to death in the streets, with our votes. That is what we're going to do. And we are going to demand that registered voters vote in our elections. And we are going to demand that all votes be counted on election day. Not election day plus a week or two, depending on, whether we like the results of the election. We are going to actually demand that you have got to show your ID at a polling place, and it has got to be double-checked with the voter rolls. And if it is not, and if you are trying to figure out some way to fraudulently vote on somebody else's behalf, then you are going to go to jail. We've had enough of this. This ridiculous leftist election engineering for the sake of changing the United States into something that is absolutely abhorrent to the rest of us is worthless. It's beyond worthless. It's dangerous. It is subversive. It is subversive. And these people, the subverters, are currently in leftist leadership in the United States of America. So what do? We vote them out of office. And we also vote the Republican enablers of these people out of us as well. And we put people we know in there. Do not vote for another politician. Vote for your neighbor. Vote for a member of We the People, as opposed to a member of We the Politicians. Do it. Do it. We must. You're listening to The Wells Report. Back with more in just a moment. Oh, this is weird. Let's see what I got here. Wonder if that's going to affect this one. No, apparently not. Good. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. Welcome back, John David Productions. I think that's how I screwed this up. I think I might have screwed this up. What I got here? Do 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 da 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 doodly 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 doo. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Kelly Lyons. You wonderful human being. You wonderful human being. Yep. You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. We have a major problem in place. The left. The left is playing fast and loose. Yes, I do. How about you? Yeah. And so, as we find ourselves currently, let's see here. What is going on? Whoa. Reload the page. Okay, I'm going to reload the page. Reload the page. Reload.